Hello everyone, this is Gary Maloney from Sacktown Slam, and I am here for a special report on Alpha versus Omega. That's right, Chris Jericho is going to be facing Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12. Now, a lot of people have a lot of questions about this. So I'll go over the basics first. I wanted to wait for, some official word about this. And we've gotten it from both Ryan Satin and Dave Meltzer. So I'll read you what I have been hearing. As most of you have seen here on eWrestlingNews.com, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega have been feuding on social media, Twitter, as of late. On Sunday, it was confirmed that the two will face off at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 12. This is their WrestleMania of sorts in Japan. In an update on their feud, Jericho and New Japan have been in talks about this match since last August. So we're talking SummerSlam time. During a recent appearance on the Killing the Town podcast, Jericho discussed how the match came together. Jericho told the host that he's paying for the Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea cruise out of his own pocket and originally wanted to partner with WWE to bring some NXT's talents to the ship and hold a WWE NXT live event. According to Jericho, WWE didn't want to get involved as they are difficult to work with. God, I could have told you that one. So he instead contracted Ring of Honor and worked out a deal to hold a Sea of Honor event. As of this writing, the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll are already booked for the cruise. For those wondering, Jericho is able to do the feud with Omega as he's currently a free agent and under contract and not under contract with WWE. Jericho signs short-term deals to return with WWE, but is able to do as he pleases once those deals expire. Obviously, Jericho wasn't very happy that the deal with WWE NXT fell through. Thus, this feud with Omega and reaching a deal with Ring of Honor for the Sea of Honor event. For those asking about Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom 12, his WWE contract expired. He's a free agent, and this is according to Dave Meltzer and was said on November 5th. And Ryan Satin stated Jericho recently said he approached WWE / Triple H about having NXT on his cruise and was turned down. And he says that they do not play well with others. I could have told you that one, Jericho. Also noted that he's financially responsible for the cruise. Still thinks he's working with Vince on the New Japan Wrestling deal. And yeah, it was all from Ryan Satin. So Ryan Satin and Dave Meltzer both came out on this on November 5th. I just want to get a few things out there right now. One, Jericho could be shooting himself in the foot right now by working with other companies that are essentially trying to overtake WWE. I mean, we saw how salty he got after the Bullet Club invasion, and now Jericho has got the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll booked on his cruise. Not gonna make WWE very happy. Dumb fucking move if you have any intentions of coming back without being buried, like Buried. Buried. Like Undertaker burying Mick Foley alive. Like, ugh. Like, I don't see where this is a good career choice, but you are 44. You want to wrestle the best. You want to get the best out of your career. I think Jericho versus Kenny Omega, I mean, that's a big marquee match for both of those guys. I saw the video of what happened. I mean, I do not speak Japanese, but I loved the way that Jericho came out to Judas, and he was like, I've beaten Shawn Michaels, I've beaten CM Punk, I've beaten blah, 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 and now I want to beat you. You know, he's still got the it factor. I think after all these years, and I think a lot of people consider it an honor to fight the GOAT, or greatest of all time. And I think Jericho is definitely in that conversation for greatest of all time. He has been in huge marquee matches for ECW, WCW, WWE, and now New Japan. He has been at the biggest pay-per-views for ECW, WCW. Well, ECW didn't really have a big pay-per-view, but I remember him being at some of their bigger pay-per-views, like November to Remember, and, you know, other pay-per-views that were pretty big. And then he was at Starrcade. He's been at WrestleMania. And now he's going to be at Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, that just speaks greatest of all time. Did this kill his WWE Hall of Fame chances? Possibly. Do I think he went to Vince before doing all this? Well, with comments like they don't play well with others, and the fact that people who have been very vocal against the company, like Emma, for example, and others who have been very vocal against WWE, the company, they have not done well since doing that. So I do not know exactly where that's going to leave Chris Jericho after this is all said and done at the beginning of the year. However, there is another reason he may be doing this. Now, a lot of people have stated, well, the Young Bucks and Omega come as a package. Young Bucks contract expire at the beginning of 2019. Omega's contract, based on rumors from Ryan Satin and of course Dave Meltzer, state that Omega's contract is up at the beginning of 2018. So, should Omega want to come to WWE, a match with Jericho, that's huge. And Jericho could be going in there as a covert agent to try and pull Omega out of there without needing the Young Bucks. Because I could see WWE wanting Omega. I'm not sure that the Young Bucks, they want them. Because the Young Bucks, they've gotten a cease and desist. They are very much a DX carbon copy. And they really, really need... they just need to mature. I mean, they are great in the ring, but they just... I like the Young Bucks, don't get me wrong, but they are very young and very immature, like your Leo Rushes, cough, cough. But, you know, this happening right now, this is huge. This reminds me of when Nakamura decided he wanted to come to WWE and then fought Sami Zayn. Because you're going to be hearing people in Japanese screaming fucking fight forever. Guarantee that shit. Jericho is in perfect health. Jericho is going to do this. And then his Sea of Honor event. Holy shit. Who do you think's going to come to that event? Because that's going to be a big event. I think that Jericho might be wanting to piss off the company because he wanted to work with the company and the company told him, fuck you. And you know what? That's on WWE. That's not on Jericho. And I think that should be very, very much emphasized. Jericho went to the WWE first. He went to them first. And they told him no. So as far as I am concerned, you know, where are you going to blame Jericho for this? Jericho is a guy that wants to wrestle. He's a guy that obviously saw some shit in the NXT talent, and Triple H is like, no, you know. And so how does any of this fall on Jericho? Well, unfortunately, Vince McMahon is a very old school, you don't go fucking with your boss kind of mentality. And if he feels like Jericho is crossing him, which I guarantee working at Wrestle Kingdom, he's not going to be at WrestleMania. If you think he's going to be at Wrestle Kingdom and WrestleMania in the same year, you're nuts. So they probably won't pick him back up till after WrestleMania, should they pick him back up at all, which that's a very real possibility. If he pisses off WWE enough, you may not see Jericho for a year. Because WWE, they hold grudges. They do. And should that happen, Jericho could be your next Bullet Club member. And that may be what they're warming this up for. Or, like I said, they could be warming up, you know, Omega to make a big Royal Rumble run. Do I know which way they're leaning? No, not at all. I don't know where this is headed. I don't know who's buttering whose bread, because that's really what this looks like, is somebody's buttering somebody else's bread to get ready for something even bigger. And do I think that Omega versus Jericho is big? Of course I do. I mean, this is a huge match. And ye better be getting ready for me to pirate this match. Because I will be, probably I won't be up at 5 a.m. trying to find a live stream of it. But I'll probably find a stream of the match itself and watch it, because I guarantee this is going to be a big match. People will be talking about this at the beginning of the year. Do I think that working with Ring of Honor is a bad idea? No. And the reason why is because, A, look at all the Ring of Honor talents that have ended up in WWE as of late. Obviously, certain people in Ring of Honor are not happy with their stance in Ring of Honor. They want more. Maybe a guy like Jericho can show them what you can get if you work the system. Because Jericho knew how to work the system in the 90s. It's a guy, one of the few, that worked for ECW, WCW, and WWE during the 90s. Granted, he didn't get to WWE till 99, but still, you know. And in the words of Bubba Ray Dudley, as far as him being in ECW, which he had some great matches, there are people who are jealous of people that work in ECW and people that are really effing jealous. I think the same can be said for New Japan as of this point. Ring of Honor, I think Ring of Honor continues to be that churn that churns out good wrestlers. Now, whether they stay with Ring of Honor or not, I mean, look at Adam Cole. Adam Cole, baby, was one of the better wrestlers in Ring of Honor, and yet he still wound up in WWE. Roderick Strong, another great wrestler from Ring of Honor that ended up in WWE. Now, you have Cody Rhodes, a great wrestler from WWE that ended up in Ring of Honor / New Japan. Now that Ring of Honor and New Japan are kind of partnered with each other, especially with the Bullet Club thing, I don't know. Is Ring of Honor trying to butter up Chris Jericho to join the Bullet Club? Or is Chris Jericho trying to butter up Kenny Omega to join WWE? This is something and a question that will be in the air until Royal Rumble. Because we'll know by Royal Rumble who's on whose side. Because this is one of those things in wrestling that you gotta, feel out who's on whose side. I mean, of course you know, but all of you, everybody just wonders what's going to happen and what's going to be a big deal. Anyway, before I go, I want to get to some other stories. This is a backstage report on Asuka and her Survivor Series position. According to a report from the Dirty Sheets, Asuka has been one of the key names discussed regarding the booking of Survivor Series. According to the site, the SmackDown brand is currently penciled to defeat the Raw brand in the women's match. The Raw creative team reportedly doesn't want anyone scoring a pinfall over Asuka, and they don't want Asuka to be on the losing team. With that said, it's possible that Asuka may be left out of the match altogether, the 5-on-5 women's. Some creative team members feel that it will equally damage Asuka, as it will portray her as being outside of the top women on Raw. You know what? You know what you do with Asuka? As far as I am concerned, seeing as you've been having her fight jobbers anyway, fuck Lana. Put her up against Lana, because Lana thinks she's so great, and then just have her score a pinfall against Lana. That's not hard, you know. I don't see why they don't see that. And there's more than 5 wrestlers on SmackDown, so even then you could have her score the pinfall over Tamina. It really doesn't matter because you've got 6 or 7 pieces moving around. Anyway, really. And then there is one more. According to sources, WWE released Tough Enough's Josh Brady. Brady was released from his WWE contract late last week. Brady won the developmental contract during the latest season of Tough Enough. The show aired back in 2015, so this is about 2 years ago. Bredl, I don't know how the hell you pronounce that, Bredl, suffered a concussion. He hadn't been performing at the Performance Center and hadn't been in the ring in quite some time. So, whatever. Acceptable losses, because it's not like the guy was performing. So, it does seem, unfortunately, this is one thing though, and I don't understand WWE management. Why have these shows if you're not going to push people? That does not really make sense. I mean, if you're not going to push people that you yourself hire, it makes no sense. It sounds to me, though, that a lot of these, as far as Asuka, like I said, just give her some schmuck from SmackDown, have the major women, because you do have to subtract Natalia from that equation. And then you would have Tamina, Carmella, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, or not Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Tamina. So yeah, just give her Lana. Just give her Lana, let her destroy Lana, and call it a day. Or if you think that Lana's not ready for Asuka, which she probably is not, give her Tamina. At least Tamina would be able to take it. And you wouldn't hear Rusev bitching on social media. Well, I'm Gary Maloney. If I hear anything else about this Chris Jericho Omega thing, I will bring it to you. Yes, the Raw results are up. No, I'm not going to do it until it's broadcast here live on USA, which today's episode will not be live. But for the sake of argument, I'm Gary Maloney. This has been Sacktown Slam. You can, hit me up on Twitter at Sacktown Slam at Twitter. You can hit me up on Facebook at Sacktown Slam on Facebook. And you can hit me up in the comment section. Leave me a thumbs up. There will be a subscribe thing in the corner, I believe, up around here. And you know what? I am Gary Maloney, and I am signing off.